You guys may be used to having a window air conditioner like this. This is just a typical, got it from Walmart type air conditioner that goes in your window and it gets the job done. This is 5,000 BTUs, but here we now have the Wave 2 from EcoFlow. And not only will it do everything that this can do, but it does it way more efficiently, does it much better, and it's portable. It's much lighter than something like this, maybe by about 10 or 15 pounds. So it's much easier to use. It's gonna save you a ton of energy, and it works hand in hand with all of the EcoFlow type product, whether it's the Delta Pro, the Delta Max, the Delta 2, whatever it is, this works hand in hand with it, and even can be controlled with the app. I'm gonna do a quick setup guide with this, so that way you know how to put it together, how to use it, and why this is one of my favorite portable AC and heaters on the market. Now, one of the coolest parts of the Wave 2 is the battery. It's basically a 1.2 kilowatt hour battery. It attaches directly to the unit here on a power cord on the side. I'll show you that in a second. But we've got 3 different hose connections here: power cord, user manuals, condensation drainage hose, as well as this wire holder right here. And then we have a 5-inch hose and a 6-inch hose. These are really high grade, gonna work really well. I really like the clips that they have on the ends here. This is the side here. This is the XT150 adapter right here that allows you to connect the battery directly to the main unit. It's just this harness that plugs in just like so. This is your release, so that way you can detach the battery from the main unit. This is your AC power in, and this is your DC power in, which is an XT60i. To turn the battery on, you just click and hold this button here on the battery. You can see we're about 50%. Under this cover, there's also a USB-A 18 watt and a USB-C 100 watt output. Very nice for keeping mobile devices charged up. The air filter here is removable. You pull this tab up from the bottom, and you can see this fine mesh inside. This helps keep bugs and stuff out. A lot of people use these while camping, and so bugs and other small dust, debris, grass and stuff will try to get sucked up in the suction of the fan here. So this allows you to keep that clean. With the exhaust here, you do have the ability to control these blades going up and down, but it does not close all of the way. On the top, we have a vent right here. Here we've got our screen, power button, mode, temperature down, temperature up, and the fan speed control. Simply hold this down and it will turn on. Right now it is currently set to warming, because you can see the little sun right here. If I click the M for mode, this is going to switch over to max, night, and eco. So as you mess with these up and down buttons, you'll notice that the sun isn't changing. That's because you need to hit the mode function right here. This allows you to switch to fan, and then cooling, heating, and allows you to go through these 3 different options. So right now I'm going to put it on cooling. That's what most people are interested in using this for. As you do that, this light will turn blue up here. You see if I change this back to heat, this will go orange. Then if it's on fan, it will have this purple whitish light right here. I'm going to go ahead and set this to the coldest setting and hit mode to go to max. So we get the absolute coldest option possible. You can see we have a time gauge right here. It shows us the state of charge for the battery, which is low, and then as well how long it's expected to run. Here it says 14 hours. So one thing that's really interesting is that this has air in on the back. You can see this also has an air filter just like the front. Because of the air intake, it is recommended to have at least 20 inches of clearance on the front and back. It says that the ambient temperature is 66.8 degrees. We are set to 60 degrees cooling on max. I am charging right now, and it says we're gonna have 2.4 hours of runtime. You can see only about 2/3 behind these fins here is where the cold air is actually coming out. And there's very little air coming out the bottom, a medium amount of air coming out the middle slot, and then the most amount of air coming out the top. It doesn't close all the way if you push these all the way down, but it does reduce the output a little bit. The cooling capacity is 5,100 BTUs, and the heating capacity is 6,100 BTUs. And with these blades fully open, I'm getting anywhere from about 17 to 18 mile an hour wind, and it's about 60 degrees blowing out. So accurate to what the screen shows here. As we come to the side, you see this will greatly drop all the way down to 6 miles an hour, even less right here, down to 3, 2, 1. Effectively almost no air blowing out here on the left side, and even less down here. Basically, there is very little airflow over here. On the bottom, we're only getting about 4 miles an hour, and in the middle, getting about 14, 13 miles an hour. Now these plastic guides here do allow you to connect these hoses, but this one you need the blades all the way open here. You're gonna take the one that has almost this hexagon-shaped EcoFlow brand logo on the front, and you can put in the top, rotate it down, and then it should click into place. With that, you can take the 5-inch pipe. This is a 5-inch outside diameter measurement, and these clips are just push to overcome. And so you just put it on, twist it on like so, and then same for taking them off. You just twist to undo them. I really, really like this. I've used the Zero Breeze and other brands like Enor, and they do not have these quick detach options, which were very frustrating when I was using those other units. You would actually bolt them into place. So if you wanted to swap how you were using it, you couldn't without using tools. So this allows me to connect this 5-inch hose here. So really what I would want to do is not use this plate cover, keep these fan blades open right here, use this smaller adapter that has this small button right here. The button is gonna go towards the front, towards the screen. These clips here, just need to make sure that they're centered, bring them back, and clip it down into place. And now I can take the 5-inch pipe and put it on the back, so I'm exhausting the heat out. So now I've got the cold air coming out here, hot air coming out here, and this is where you would duct this out of a window. And as far as the heat coming out, you can see we're almost to 100 degrees. We got 99 degrees coming out along this bottom edge at about 12 miles an hour. So this is why if you're cooling, you definitely want to have this going out of a window. Now this bigger plate here does go on the back, and this 6-inch pipe connects to it. It slides in just like the other one and locks into place by twisting it. This is to control air intake, but it does seem odd to me that they didn't include another 5-inch hose, so that way you could direct the cold air if you wanted. So that's how it works on AC, but how well does it work if we change the mode to heat? I'm gonna go ahead and put it on max, and this is gonna take a few minutes to switch from cold air out to hot air out. I'm gonna do a couple of things while that is heating up. One, I'm gonna go ahead and install this condensation line. It goes on the back, and you can see it just pushes on to this piece right here. And one of the cool features is it does have the ability to disconnect. So you no longer have to keep pushing the hose on and off if you want to remove the condensation line. You also notice this rubber flap right here that is not on any other side of the Wave 2. And that's because this is your AC power cord holder. Simply line up the slots, push it in nice and firm. And now this sits here so that way you can wrap the power cord around this for easy storage when you want to hold the AC power cord here. The heat is blowing out from right here, and the cold air is now blowing out of here. So this top vent where you can connect this hose is pretty much always your exhaust. And on the hot air out, and I've gotten as high as 96.2 degrees Fahrenheit and 19 miles per hour. But you can see right now we're basically 96 degrees out. Definitely very warm, feels very good standing right in front of it. So if you imagine this going out of a window, it's basically set up in your van, your RV, something like that, or maybe just a bedroom. You can have this permanently set up, and then this is going to blow out whatever temperature you need. I could seriously see this as a very practical use in a van life setup or in an RV or in a single bedroom. I've got a 1,000 square foot cabin. I don't think this is going to be big enough for that, but it could definitely help in a small space. I'd say up to about 200, maybe 250 square feet where you need to either heat or cool it. I really, really like this unit. I think EcoFlow absolutely hit it out of the park. And the efficiency is really good because you're going from DC power. I personally would only run this with the battery option because if you do have a solar generator, it's going to offset how much energy you have to use from the batteries from your EcoFlow solar generator or any other solar generator for that matter. It's going to really help run itself at night and give you more hours of runtime running your fridge, freezer, lights, fans, anything else you need to run. And I'm standing right next to it and my mic's right here, so it's actually closer to it than my ears are. And this is really quiet. I would have no problem having a conversation sitting right next to this, whereas this unit right here is very loud. It's very hard to sleep next to because it's so loud, unless you really like a lot of white noise. But overall, this is much quieter than any other portable air conditioner. I have one of those as well, or a window air conditioner. Either one of them are much louder than this. Now you can charge from a car cigarette lighter port up to 200 watts, either a 12 volt or 24 volt setup. up to 8 amps. So if you can only do a 12 volt, it's going to be 12 volts times 8 amps, basically going to be about 96 watts input. Or if you have a 24 volt setup, it's going to be about 200 watts input. If you do a solar panel, the charge parameter is 11 to 60 volts and 13 amps. So very similar to their smaller EcoFlow power stations or solar generators. It's got a charge controller in here to input up to 400 watts into the battery. So you could easily connect 2 of the 220 watt bifacial folding solar panels from EcoFlow. I really like those. Or you can just get a couple of rigid 200 panels, connect them in series, connect it up to this, and you're really going to offset your energy usage with that. That's going to be great during the day when the heat is on, and you're going to be able to keep the battery charged up while running this equipment here. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the app. I've got a folder with a lot of different brands of equipment that I test. I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus button. I'm going to find smart devices on here, Wave 2. So I found my Wave 2 and actually my Glacier. Go ahead and hit Wave 2. It's going to start connecting. Test for my Wi-Fi, put that in. Well, according to the quick start guide, I should just be able to hold the mode button down for 3 seconds to get Bluetooth to activate, but it won't. It's not doing anything. I've been holding it for more than 3 seconds. It's going to beep, basically telling me that I've just been holding the button down, but it's not turning on Bluetooth. And the app, for some reason, found it for a second, but it's not able to find it again. And that makes sense since the screen's not showing any Bluetooth at all. So in that regard, that sucks. I've tried to add it manually as well. It won't let me scan a QR code on the back or anything. I cannot get it to connect to the app right now. If you want to change this to Celsius, you hold the 2 temperature control buttons at the same time, and it's going to reset it to Celsius. Do the same to go back to Fahrenheit. And then to the left here, you'll see this other temperature reading. Right now it is showing the ambient temperature, but if I hold this M button here on the left, it's going to switch to air outlet temperature. And that's supposed to be a reading of the temperature that is blowing out of here, but I don't think we ever got that low on our readings with the anemometer. So I'm not sure how accurate that is, but that's what those buttons do. I'm going to try this one more time holding this to see if we can get the Bluetooth to turn on. Yep, still nothing. Now, despite not being able to get the app to work, I would still take this over this any day. Even a portable air conditioner, the kind that rolls around, that are really not that portable, I would still take this over one of those, simply for the fact that it's so quiet, it's very efficient, and it works really well. I'll have more videos about this in the future as I test it in rooms and off-grid cabins, RV and stuff like that, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you need some way of having heat and cooling that can be run off of a solar generator or a solar setup or even a gas generator if that's what you're running, this is something you should seriously consider. And I'll have links and coupon codes, anything I can get for you guys down below this video. Just click the show more button and you'll see in the description all of that information. Prepare for self-rescue. I think this is a great way to have heat and cooling for a small area. I think EcoFlow did a great job.